Hello, boys and girls. All right, this is going to be Chapter 2 of Here We All Are. The author is Tomie dePaola, the author of the Stregonona books, the Big Anthony books, The Legend of the Blue Bonnet, The Legend of the Paintbrush, Tony's Bread, The Giant of Baraclata, and many, many more. Chapter 2. We had only been in 26th Fairmont Avenue for a week when Christmas vacation ended. It was time to go back to school. I met my best friend Jenny Howlett at the corner. She lived just around the corner at 210 Highland Avenue. Her house was new too. Now we could walk to school and back home together. On the way we passed our old apartment on Columbus Avenue. No one had moved in yet. It was funny to see dark, empty windows without any curtains. Carol Crane came running up to walk to school with us. She was older than I was, but younger than Buddy. She told me that her mom especially missed the holy water my mom would sprinkle on Mrs. Crane during thunderstorms, so lightning wouldn't strike. As soon as we got to our classroom, I went right up to my kindergarten teacher, Miss Emick, and told her that I had a new address. "Well, aren't we a lucky boy?" Miss Emick said. Now you and Jenny are neighbors." Then Miss Emick clapped her hands to get our attention. "Boys and girls, today we are going to have a painting class." That was great news for me. A whole year before, when I was only 4, the relatives had asked Buddy if he knew what he wanted to be when he grew up. Buddy said he wanted to be Dick Tracy or Joe Palooka or Buck Rogers. Dick Tracy was a detective. Joe Palooka was a prizefighter. Buck Rogers was a spaceman. All 3 of them were comic book characters. It sounded as if Buddy wanted to be a comic strip. "I know what I want to be," I had yelled out. And I did, too. I want to be an artist when I grow up. I want to draw pictures and write stories for books and sing and tap dance on the stage. I don't know if the other relatives believed me or not, but Mom and Dad, Uncle Charles, and my grandfather, Tom, all did. On my birthday and at Christmas, they gave me art supplies, paper, pencils, and crayons. And Mom took me to Miss Leah's dancing school. The only trouble about painting at school was Miss Emick's paint. She made it by pouring different colored powders into big glass jars and mixing them with water. The paint made the paper all wavy. When the picture dried, the paint rubbed right off. And boys and girls, that's true. That's the kind of paint we used to have. Now we can buy it already mixed. Today Miss Emick made all the colors. Then she put a brush in each jar. Then she said, "Now, boys and girls, we have to share, so let's be careful. Be sure to put the right brush back in the right jar of paint." She divided us into small groups. Little easels were set up all around the room. We put on old shirts of our fathers or old aprons of our mothers so we wouldn't get too dirty. At least Miss Emick let us paint anything we wanted to, even if her paint wasn't so great. But sometimes she made suggestions. Today she said, "I think if we all paint a nice scene with a tree and a house and the sun and some clouds, that would be really nice." I decided to paint a different picture. Maybe a mountain, like the one in the painting Cousin Anna did for our house. Everything was going fine until someone in my group put the red brush in the green paint. Red and green are opposite each other on the color wheel. That means that when they are mixed together, they make an ugly, dirty brown color that looks like mud. Great! Now I'd have a hard time making my green mountain. I went over to Jenny's group to borrow their green brush. "We must stay in our groups," Miss Emick said. "I'm just going to borrow the green brush for a minute," I told Miss Emick. I explained what had happened in my group with the red brush and the green paint. "You know, Miss Emick, since I am going to be an artist when I grow up, I think it would be nice if I had my own paints and some better paper." I know Miss Emick didn't think this was a good idea, because she just pointed at my easel and said, "Just go finish your painting, young man." That's why I had a picture of a muddy brown mountain in the rain instead of a beautiful green one in the sun to take home. Chapter 3. Every afternoon in kindergarten, we had to take our naps. Everyone had his or her own little rug or mat. The mats had big cardboard tags with our first names printed on them. If you had the same first name as someone else, Miss Emick put the first letter of your last name on the tag, too. I don't think Miss Emick liked nicknames very much, because Johnny Gregory was John G., and Jack Rule was John R., and Jenny Howdlet was Jean H. And here's a picture of some mats. Even though I was the only Tomie, guess what? I wasn't allowed to spell my name Tomie. I had to be Tommy. Miss Emick told me that Tomie was the wrong spelling. "But Miss Emick, you say it exactly the same way," I had explained. Then I told Miss Emick that my mamma's famous cousin, the Irish tenor Morton Downey, had given me the spelling of my name when I was just a little boy. My mom had told Cousin Morton that I was sure to be famous when I grew up because I could draw really well and sing and dance too. When I was 3, I had turned my sandbox over and used it as a stage. I danced even though I hadn't been to Miss Leah's dancing school yet. I knew all the words to the songs from movies starring Miss Mae West and Shirley Temple. "Well, then, Floss," Cousin Morton said to my mom, "he's got to have an unusual spelling for his first name so people will remember it." "I don't care what your mother's famous cousin said," Miss Emick told me. "You should just be thankful that I don't call you Thomas. Now go and sit down." For the next 7 years, I had to spell my name Tommy, even though my name was spelled Tomie. Anyway, this day when it was time for naps, I thought I'd be helpful. I picked up Jack Rule's mat to hand to him. But before I could, Miss Emick said, "Tommy, what are you doing? You know you must never use any mat but your own." We had that rule so we wouldn't get cooties, which are little bugs that can get in your hair. If you did get them, you wouldn't pass them on to anyone if you used your own mat every day. If you did get them, it was awful, because your mother had to scrub your hair with a special soap that made your whole head feel as if it was burning. Every once in a while, we had to take the mats home so our mothers could wash them. I was just being polite and handing Jack his mat, I explained. In church on Sunday, Father O'Connell said we should help each other. "Well, all right, but don't do it again," Miss Emick told me. I hated naps. I wanted to be up and doing things. Gee, we could have used nap time to learn how to read instead of waiting until first grade. I would lie there with my eyes wide open thinking. The next day, I decided that it would be a good time to practice a new song I had learned, so very quietly I started singing to myself. I felt a tap on my shoulder. I looked up. Miss Emick had her finger to her lips. She wanted me to be quiet. Then she motioned for me to get up and follow her out of the room. We went to Miss Luby's office. Miss Luby was the school nurse. Miss Emick had me sit on the cot where you rested when you were sick. "Tommy, what am I going to do with you?" Miss Emick said. "Why can't you be a good boy like your brother Joseph?" She didn't even call him Buddy. "Now, I want you to promise me that you will try to behave and not talk so much." "I'll try, Miss Emick." but I knew it wouldn't be easy with all those rules. And I'll see you in Chapter 4 in our next story. That's it for tonight, and I'll see you in this same book again